Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV. In the second part of the Tour de France preview, the race course. This year's Tour de France is one of the greatest tours ever put together by the ASO, the owners of the event, Amre Sports Organization, the president, Christian Prudhomme, and he's really outdone himself and come up with a very difficult but a spectacular race course. It's going to be a dynamic race throughout. On paper, there are 9 sprint stages. That remains to be seen. If you saw my previous preview about the characters, I don't think there'll be more than 7, but time will tell. Apart from those, they're just non-stop action throughout the whole tour. Stage 2, you've got to pay attention to if you're a GC rider. Stage 5, Stage 7, but the real GC battle will start on stage number 9 up to Arcalis in Andorra. Similar stage in 2009 that saw Alberto Contador distance some of his rivals in that particular edition of the Tour de France. Gorgeous roads. The climb itself is not that grim, the climb to Arcalis, but a very tough stage leading up to that. And historically, Team Sky and Chris Froome have used the first stage in the mountains to really just demoralize their competitors and obliterate the field and then play defensively. I don't think the stage up to Arcalis is going to be a huge time advantage of Chris Froome. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer, but his best chance to do what he does, the template that Sky uses, dominate his rivals on a mountaintop finish and then ride defensively throughout the rest of the race. That is going to be on stage 12, I believe, this year, up Mount Ventoux. Yes, the Monster of Provence, stage number 12. And that is going to be an incredible battle. It always is. Ventoux is grim. Last time the Tour went up there, Chris Froome was spectacular. 2013, destroyed everybody while he was in the yellow jersey. And he obviously is in love, or if not in hate, of Mount Ventoux. If he's on good form, it should be an advantageous stage for his overall aspirations. Stage 13 is a time trial, so very different type of effort. It's a pretty long one too, 37.5 kilometers. So 25-mile time trial, a little bit less, 24-mile time trial. That's going to be a real test. If you're climbing well, if you're skinny enough to climb Ventoux as well as Chris Froome has in the past, will you have any power left over to do a rolling, not a hilly, but a pretty tough 37.5 kilometer time trial. That's going to be very interesting. There is another couple of days that are very tough in the mountains and followed by a time trial. Also stages 17 and 18. Stage 17, Fino et Mozon. This climb is so steep, so grim, so brutal. That might suit Nairo Quintana a little bit better than Chris Froome. We shall see. They used it in the Dauphiné a couple of years ago, and it was Alberto Contador that actually dropped Chris Froome and got the leader's jersey. So Alberto Contador, maybe as much as Froome likes Ventoux, Contador likes Fino et Mozon. So that's going to be a great battle also. And if Froome has a big advantage, he might lose that advantage. The next stage is an uphill time trial, stage 18. There was this year in the Dauphiné an uphill time trial, and Alberto Contador demolished everybody. He just clobbered everybody. So if he's at a disadvantage, could seriously pull himself back into contention on the uphill time trial, stage number 18. And that's the way it's laid out is absolutely brilliant. Very, very tough race route. Stage 19, another mountaintop finish up on Mont Blanc. I've done that before. Oh, it's brutal. That's a brutal stage 2. And stage 20 into Morzine is big mountain climbs throughout the day. And so The Pyrenees are going to be tough, but the last week of the race is going to favor a rider that's been clever, that is has the endurance to go hard day in and day out, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Those 4 stages are so tough. Measuring your effort is going to be essential. Not being discouraged if you lose a little bit of time here and there, and not being overconfident if you have a big chunk of time going into those stages, because you could lose easy a minute, 2, 3 minutes to your rivals if you have a really bad day. So Tour de France laid out brilliantly. Of course, the last stage, finishing in Paris as always with the circuits around the Champs. And I absolutely cannot wait to see how this Tour de France is. Brilliant course laid out by Christian Prudhomme and the ASO. The Pyrenees start the hostilities just as they did last year, and the Alps finish up the tough stages in the mountains. So that seemed to favor Chris Froome when he's won the Tour de France. It's been a long time since anybody won two Tour de France's in a row. If we go back to the ones that are on the record book, that was Miguel Indurain. That's 21 years ago. I think 1995. So 94 and 95. Miguel Indurain winning 5 in a row. That is a long time ago. If you don't count Lance Armstrong's 7 in a row, which I count. It happened. And what the Tour de France is going to decide to do with those in the years to come, that'll be another interesting. So feel free to comment on whether or not you believe Lance Armstrong won 7 Tours de France in a row. Remember, no cussing, okay? Rational, adult discussion, okay? Just present your opinion, and that's plenty, okay? So if we look at I know this is opening a giant can of worms, but anyway, there you have it. Let them fly. Let the comments fly. I think Lance won 7 in a row. It happened. I was there. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Subsequently, he's been disqualified from those. So those are not on the record book. But it's, in spite of that, 11 years. So it's either 11 years or 21 years before, or since somebody has won 2 Tour de France's in a row. It's just not that easy of a thing to do. So if Chris Froome is going to win his 3rd and 2 in a row, that will be an incredible accomplishment. And maybe it's not talent entirely. Maybe there's an element in luck in who wins the Tour de France. If bad luck doesn't befall Chris Froome, he will win the 2016 Tour de France. Let me know what you think. I can just wait to see the comment section, but please share your comments with me without acrimony, without vitriol, without cursing, just straight up, what's your opinion, okay? Indurain, Armstrong, Froome, all right? If Froome wins this tour and it's a successive Tour de France, shall we go back 11 or 21 years? Let me know what you think. Thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks a lot, everybody. The GC battle is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be crazy. The big 3, probably, Chris Froome, Nairo Quintana, and Alberto Contador. The big 3. And a ton of great riders queued up to take a podium spot should any of those 3 falter. I'm going to give the podium when I'm done introducing the characters, so hold your horses a little bit.